we're going to kick it off with 60 Minutes, where Trump returned after having successfully sued them for what he said was a misleading edit on their interview of Kamala Harris. And they wound up settling the case, much to the consternation of many inside the CBS News organization. They got over it. So he sits with Norah O'Donnell. And I have to tell you, to me, it was very interesting watching Norah O'Donnell try to pretend she's just a totally fair, earnest, objective reporter with Donald Trump. It was seeping out. She loathes him. But watching her even try to pretend was fascinating because clearly she's going to be taken behind the Barry Weiss woodshed, which is a great woodshed, if she doesn't get in line. And our friend Barry is not really taking any prisoners over there. People are getting fired left and right. We'll talk about it in a sec. But Norah O'Donnell doesn't want to be on the list. She already lost her gig as CBS News evening anchor. Now she's just being a correspondent on 60, which is fine. But she doesn't want to lose that. Then she's out to pasture. She loses that job. So she did her level best to act like she was nonpartisan. But I'll just give you a flavor of how it went between the two of them when the interview started kicking off. SOT 1A.
But they have to let the country. And so you know what they have to do? All they have to do is raise 5 hands. We don't need all of them.
But so you're saying your plan is, but Mr. President, with all due respect, you've been talking about fixing the health care insurance plan since 2015.
And you can't do it because of the Democrats.
But since 2015, you've said you'd fix it.
I've been talking much better health care.
But where is that
plan? And I'd be willing to work with the Democrats on it.
Even here in Florida has the highest number of residents on Obamacare in the country.
And I'm saying we can fix it, Nora.
You have helped end these government shutdowns in the past when they came about. And you did it by bringing
I'm very good at it,
you
but I'm
brought
not going to do it by
I'm
not going to do it by extortion, people.
So then what happens on November 15th when the troops don't get a paycheck?
Schumer is a basket case. We're doing really well.
Can I ask you, Mr. President, on that point, though, when the stock market is doing well, that doesn't affect everybody. Not everybody's invested in the stock market.
It does.
But there have been grocery prices
are up. 401ks, people have 401ks. Their 401ks are double what they were a year ago.
But for people that don't have 401ks or are not invested in the stock market, but they've seen their grocery prices go up, inflation.
No, you're wrong.
God, you're annoying.
Boy.
Isn't she annoying? She's so annoying. Well, doesn't it give you a headache?
I feel schizophrenic now. She is annoying. The problem is that she's caught between a Barry Weiss and a hard place, because if she goes at all soft on Donald Trump, then all of the, people like Don Winslow and others on Twitter, the hardcore party disciplinarians, will say, oh, she bent the knee to the evil Barry Weiss. Mm-hmm. And then she won't be able to get a job at all if she's fired, which could easily happen. I mean,
yes.
So they're
dropping like flies.
Yeah, these people have to be thinking about their next employer, MS Now, or whatever it is going to be called.
Thank you. That's right. So Norah O'Donnell goes out there, and for most of the exchange, I felt uncomfortable because she just sort of tried to look like an ingenue, like, but Mr. President. But every time he tried to make a point, she stepped on him.
Right.
Can't have Donald Trump making points on 60 after all. And here was one he did manage to get out, where she tried to press him on the horrible, terrible ICE raids. I mean, the narrative coming out of Team Blue right now, from Barack Obama on down, is that we're running around kidnapping American citizens in the streets with masked ICE agents, and then you never see them again. Those are lies. We are not. It is not true. The piece about Americans is a lie. The Americans who have been deported by ICE were deported because they are children whose illegal mothers got deported, and then they asked the mothers, would you like your kids to remain here with some family member since they are American citizens? Or would you like to take them with you since you are their legal guardian, mom? And the moms have said, I'm taking them with me. So they got to go too. And now that's translated into, they're arresting American citizens. Okay, it's not what's happening. The American citizens who are being arrested, quote, in the streets, by the way, are the ones who are behaving terribly against ICE agents and at ICE arrests, who commit crimes like assault or battery or trespass or vandalism, same things you or I would be arrested for if we committed them in the street. In any event, she asks him whether these horrible, terrible ICE raids have gone too far. SOT 1.
Americans have been watching videos of ICE tackling a young mother, tear gas being used in a Chicago residential neighborhood, and the smashing of car windows. Have some of these raids gone too far?
No, I think they haven't gone far enough because we've been held back by the judges, by the liberal judges that were put in by Biden and by Obama.
You're okay with those tactics?
Yeah, because you have to get the people out. You know, you have to look at the people. Many of them are murderers. Many of them are people that were thrown out of their countries because they were, criminals.
But a lot of the people that your administration has arrested and deported aren't violent criminals. Landscapers, nannies, construction workers,
landscapers
farm
who are criminals.
workers.
Yeah. No, look.
The family of
I
U.S.
need
service members.
landscapers and I need farmers more than anybody, okay?
Is it your intent to deport people who do not have a criminal record?
We have to start off with a policy. And the policy has to be you came into the country illegally, you're going to go out. However, you've also seen you're going to go out, we're going to work with you, and you're going to come back into our country legally.
Walter, by the way, not asked anything about the attacks on ICE agents who are being shot at, who have actual bounties on their heads, who are uniformly dragged by outlets like CBS unfairly every night.
Well, I mean, possession is 9/10 of the law, they say. If you can get something into your possession, it's hard to get it back from you. I guess migration is easier when you flood over and you go across, jungles and deserts and so on. These people, just to get here, have been through much worse than they're being put through to leave. First of all, they have the option of complying, which I'm sure you don't bust the glass if somebody's complying. Those videos come from people who are resisting. So it's always going to be ugly when you have to undo something that, a law that wasn't paid attention to in the first place. It's going to be doubly ugly. Why can't they see that? It wasn't Donald Trump who forced them to come to the country, and it isn't Donald Trump who's forcing them to resist the deportation that is apparently legal. So what videos have to do with it, I don't know. I'm sure, and to call them landscapers and so on. I mean, Charles Manson was a songwriter. Songwriter Charles Manson in jail. They are finding the most optimistic and rosiest way to portray the case of the illegals, and they're trying to portray him in the absolute worst light. I mean, if we showed videos of some of these criminals at their worst, and use those to illustrate the problem, I'm sure the shoe would be on the other foot. But instead, we get the edge cases of the deportations.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Rather than talking to us about Laken Riley or Jocelyn Nungare or Rachel, was it Moran down in the Southeast, who was raped and assaulted and murdered with her. She had 5 kids. No, we don't. Norah didn't spend time on that. And in fact, I think we know why, because she doesn't seem to have much of a problem with immigration, illegal immigration, or at least she didn't when she interviewed Kamala Harris. Here's a shot from last year when she came to Kamala Harris's defense on immigration after the presidential debate. Listen to this.
When the topic of immigration came up, which is one that Donald Trump likes to hammer this administration on, he likes to call Kamala Harris wrongly the border czar. That was not specifically her job.
Yes, it was. It's subtle. Some people are on the nose with their bias, and other people work it into their commentary like she does right there. Yes, she was the border czar. She absolutely was the border czar. And that is Norah O'Donnell trying to run cover for Kamala Harris to remove that set of responsibilities from her so that she didn't have to share in what happened to this country, which is exactly what Trump and Tom Homan are trying to fix with these deportations and the ICE raids. Did you know gold is up around 40% this year? That's not speculation, it's reality. And if a portion of your savings is not diversified into gold, you're missing the boat. Here are the facts. The U.S. dollar, still too weak. The government debt, still growing. This is why central banks are flocking to gold. They're the ones driving prices up to record highs. But it's not too late to buy gold from Birch Gold Group and get in the door right now. Birch Gold will help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. You don't pay a dime out of pocket. Just text MK to 989898 and claim your free info kit. There's no obligation, just useful information. The best indicator of the future is the past, and gold has historically been a safe haven. So text MK to 989898 right now to claim your free info kit on gold. MK to the number 989898. Protect your future today with Birch Gold. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.